Good morning. Just a few announcements before the service begins. First of all, a warm welcome to everyone this morning. To those of you who are here in person and those of you who are watching on YouTube, everyone is welcome here, whatever your heritage, it's okay, your age, your income, your abilities, and whatever your religious beliefs, and however you choose to participate, whether in person or on YouTube. As a welcoming congregation, we affirm the full inclusion of people of all sexual orientations and gender identities. A very special welcome to any visitors with us this morning. If you'd like to get connected and learn more about our community life here, please take a moment to fill out a yellow pew card. You'll find it on the back of the seat in front of you, or you can sign the guest book in the entry house. We hope you'll join us downstairs in our social hall after the service for refreshments so that we have a chance to connect with you in person. To reach the social hall, we exit through this door behind me, down the hall and down the stairs. The newest episode of our monthly podcast, Siding with Love, has arrived. There is a link in the Friday email that will take you directly to the recording, and we hope you will enjoy it. Carol Bousquet and Pat Johnson also have organized our YouTube channel so that it's easier to find recordings of the Sunday services, as well as the podcast episodes. Again, there's a direct link in last Friday's email. Coming up on May 2nd, there will be a concert by our own Deb Hardy and friends. Deb is a longtime church member, and she's offering this concert here as a benefit for the church. So mark your calendars to come and hear Deb and friends, Brian King and Elise Underhill. This is Saturday, May 2nd at 2 p.m. And the next book discussion is coming up on Tuesday, May 12th. The reading will be River of the Gods by Candace Millard. It promises to be a great read. Everyone's welcome to join the conversation. Again, May 12th, Tuesday at 3 p.m. The Friday drop-in lunch continues to take place in the Williams Room downstairs at the end of the hall every Friday at noon. This is a bring-your-own-sandwich lunch. Everyone is welcome. It's a lot of fun to just get together and chat. There's a slight change to the music this morning. The postlude will be Serenade by Haydn. If you're not receiving the weekly email, please contact Christine in the church office and she'll add you to the list. Before we begin, if the folks watching from home would like to light a candle or chalice along with us here, please go and get one now so that we can do this ritual together in spirit. Thank you.
Good morning. Many thanks to Genevieve Dion for lending us her musical talents this morning, along with Steve Lacey. Thank you, Genevieve. I think it's a perfect example of what we're going to be talking about today, is just how we create this community and how we all lend our different talents and skills and time to help make this a vibrant and thriving place. So, and it's a perfect example of what we do here. We build this while we're flying it. So, otherwise, just wanted to thank you all for being here on this less than inspirational morning. It's great to see you all. You help brighten it by being here. So thank you, and let us deepen our hearts and our spirits for worship. To worship means to consider that which has worth. Today we consider with gratitude the many gifts of this community, the opportunity to be affirmed in who we are and to offer that affirmation to others, the chance to stand up together to help remake the world in the ideal of justice, the freedom to choose one's own path to truth and to learn from the travels of others, the space to expand one's spirit and to reconnect each week with the sustaining truths of one's life. Regular reminders that we must see our world through the lens of love and the aspiration to consider all life as precious. For if all of it is made of stardust, how can it not be wondrous? So this morning, let's welcome all of these gifts with gratitude, for they have been paid for with many currencies. The blood of the martyrs who died so that we can be free in our religion, the sweat of those who persisted in justice's name against hostility and adversity, the tears of those who struggled to build better lives for others, the questions of our children as they understand the world anew and then offer their understanding to us, the laughter and joy of those in love with the embrace of community, the dollars and cents of those who gave what they could and then stretched a little bit more, the infinite small acts of service that make the parts greater than the whole. So today we consider with gratitude and humility what it means to pay forward what has been paid forward for us. Let us enter into worship with gladness in our hearts. Our opening hymn this morning is Morning Has Broken, which is number 38 in your gray hymnal. You're welcome to rise in body or in spirit. In the Unitarian Universalist faith tradition, we enter into worship by the simple ritual of kindling our chalice. The chalice with its rings represents the welcoming embrace of this community, and the flame reminds us to nurture our own light and share it with the world. Our chalice lighter this morning is Vincent Sidlowski. If you have a chalice or candle ready at home, please join with us now and light it together. Thank you, Vincent. We take a moment now to affirm the covenant that we share with one another. Newcomers and guests, the words of our affirmation are printed in the order of service if you'd like to read along with us. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift. And you're welcome to be seated. As part of our services, we light a candle each week to express our hopes for an end to war in the world. We, of course, are living in a roller coaster of daily conflicting claims about peace. But like our small flame, we will burn steady in holding on to our hopes for a rapid end to the war in the Middle East and for sustained peace in the world. I invite us now into a time of prayer to be followed by a time of silent meditation. As the clamor of daily life recedes, let us just rest for a moment in the embrace of silence. Spirit of life and love that draws us toward one another and toward the sacred connections of this caring community. We are grateful for so much in our daily lives. We receive so many gifts that we can forget to notice: shelter, enough to eat, music and singing and companionship to brighten the morning and lighten our hearts. We give thanks for the blessing of this community and for the relationships that help to connect and to hold us as we move forward into a new day together. We pause in this moment to remember all those who have come before us, who loved this community into being, all those faithful stewards of its future, and who were loved and challenged, both by the strong ties that were woven into a beautiful fabric, even as we are loved and held and challenged today. We think of all those who share in this creative life of spirit, grace, and love. We think with hope of all those who will follow us, weaving more strands into the fabric of this community of memory and care. Spirit of life, we ask your blessings on this house, on these people, past, present, and future, that all may know both the joy of welcome and of belonging and the possibilities for growth and transformation. We we hold in our hearts today all those who have burdens they cannot carry, who face illness, war, violence, and loss. May they and we feel our arms around them and find comfort. All this we ask in your name, which we know is love, as we enter into silence. Amen.
We're invited now to read together our responsive reading, The Larger Circle, which can be found in the back of your gray hymnal at number 646. Please read the italicized portions. We clasp the hands of those who go before us. We enter the little circle of each other's arms. And the larger circle of all creatures. In a music so subtle and vast that no ear hears it.
Good morning. I'm Holly Tangway, co-organizer with Roger Garberg of the Canvas, which is our annual pledge drive. Roger, our finance chair and the numbers guy in this partnership, is unable to be with us today. As you may be able to tell from the following words, I'm the team spirit part of our duo. You will get a detailed report of the church's finances at the annual meeting, but if you want one before then, ask Roger. Nonetheless, I am here to talk with you about stewardship and about supporting our church. As you know, each Sunday, together, we deepen our hearts and our minds for worship. Together, we celebrate and appreciate the great mystery that is life. By our actions beyond these walls, we inspire and encourage one another. With acceptance and respect, we care for one another. With devotion, we do the work of sustaining this church. We are the church, and we have reason to be proud. This year, more than ever, our spiritual community is a force for change. We actively seek justice and stand up for democracy. Our members show up at weekly standouts and No Kings rallies. We do the work of protecting immigrants' rights, striving for social justice, and addressing climate change. We also do the work that keeps this beloved community moving forward. As a result of all we do, the church is growing in numbers and vigor. We, full stop. Not the building, not our history, not even Unitarian Universalism. We. That means, of course, that I am the church and you are the church. What matters first and foremost is that we are here. Being present for one another is a fundamental contribution. Let that sink in. Your presence here matters to everyone else here. This is our spiritual home. The love we experience here calls us to support and cherish this home as we support and cherish our families and our family homes. We. There is no one else. Our church has a small endowment which contributes some earnings to the annual budget. We also have a small amount of rental income, and we raise a small amount of money through the holiday fair. Otherwise, each year, paying the bills and building for the future is up to us. Like all Unitarian Universalist congregations, we are entirely self-supporting. In spite of a tight budget and careful management, fiscal year 25-26 will likely end up in a small deficit. Next year, our expenses will, of course, be higher. The finance team calculates that together our members need to pledge about $130,000 to cover expenses. Of course, we need to raise more if we want to grow what we do. Each year we ask members of the Canvas team to lead the way by making their own pledges early. So far, a half a dozen of our canvassers have pledged over $35,000, well above what they pledged last year. That means today, as we begin the canvass, we are already more than 1/4 of the way to balancing the budget for next year. We can do this. If you are new to the church and have not joined or don't plan to join this month, you won't be asked to pledge. We hope you will contribute financially as much as you are able, and we hope you find here the spiritual home that members have found. We also hope that you will contribute your talents by volunteering. There is no better way to get to know each other. If you are a member of the church or you are joining this month, you will soon receive a letter about the canvas along with your quarterly giving report. I had hoped those items would already be in your hands, but I haven't yet received mine. Soon. During the next month, a member of the Canvas team will ask to meet with you individually. We want to find out how you are doing and listen to your thoughts and questions about the church, as well as ask for your financial support. When you are contacted by a canvasser, he or she or me, is demonstrating our own devotion by reaching out to you. Why do we take that on? If you have ever done fundraising, you know that asking for money is often not easy. It's because we love the church, and we want to get to know you better, and we know from experience that pledging is not only important, it is rewarding. It deepens our commitment and puts our spirituality into action. Please welcome your canvasser and make time for that conversation. During each service in the next month, you will hear from a different congregation member about what this church means to them and why they pledge. Then, on Sunday, May 31st, a week before the annual meeting, we will celebrate with the end of the canvas by enjoying Causeway Chowder together after the service. We look forward to celebrating a successful canvas together.
And now is the time in our service when we offer our commitment and generosity. Now, more than ever, it matters that we are here. More than ever, our churches have an important role in our lives. More than ever, this community of faith, this place of memory and hope, provides the roots and the wings for us to speak and to act on behalf of those whose voices are not heard. To support this community of caring, this morning's offering will now be gratefully received. Thank you for your generosity. Blessings upon the givers and upon your gifts.
The reading is A House Called Tomorrow by Alberto Rios. You are not 15 or 12 or 17. You are 100 wild centuries and 15, bringing with you in every breath and in every step everyone who has come before you, all the yous that you have been, the mothers of your mother, the fathers of your father. If someone in your family tree was trouble, 100 were not. The bad do not win, not finally, no matter how loud they are. We simply would not be here if that were so. You are made fundamentally from the good. With this knowledge, you never march alone. You are the breaking news of the century. You are the good who has come forward through it all. Even if so many days feel otherwise. But think, when you as a child learned to speak, it's not that you didn't know words. It's that from the centuries you knew so many. And it's hard to choose the words that will be your own. From these centuries, we human beings bring with us the simple solutions and songs, the river bridges and star charts and song harmonies, all in service to a simple idea that we can make a house called tomorrow. What we bring finally into the new day, every day, is ourselves. And that's all we need to start. That's everything we require to keep going. Look back only for as long as you must, then go forward into the history you will make. Be good, then better. Write books. Cure disease. Make us proud. Make yourself proud. And those who came before you, when you hear thunder, hear it as their applause. Here ends the reading.
When you think about it, a church really is a remarkable thing. To open the service this morning, I chose the words of a colleague, the Reverend Leslie Takahashi, that set forth all the many gifts that a religious community offers. She talked about space to grow, a place to learn about ourselves and others, and of how we create an environment where we learn to stand up for others and for our earth. When we're not doing that, we're creating worship together each week, sharing silence and song, finding nourishment to fortify ourselves for the week ahead. And we do this week after week, year after year. And no one does it for us or tells us how to do it. Of course, there's plenty of advice out there, and there's some guardrails in the form of bylaws and best practices, but ultimately, we decide every day how to keep this community strong and relevant and beautiful and loving. We do all this together, willingly. And after a while, it's easy to begin to take it for granted how well and steadfast we hold each other and this community. I find it ironic that religious organizations are struggling in this era. Nowhere else can people find what is offered in a healthy religious community. And what we offer is vitally important. We live in a time of overt toxic speech, of declining trust in one another and in our institutions. Our culture is too violent in word and deed, and it does not value creating space for those who are seen as less than, as unsuccessful. Where else but in a healthy congregation can you find the array of gifts we create and offer to one another, and offer the larger community as well? This week, I found myself inspired by an essay by the Reverend Cameron Trimble. She is a young United Church of Christ minister. She's a commercial pilot, and she's the CEO of an organization called Convergence, which provides coaching to organizations adapting to change. And she wrote this: "The world does not feel steady right now. Institutions we were taught to trust are unraveling. Power is being abused without accountability. Fear is being used as a governing strategy. Many of us wake each day bracing ourselves for what new harm will be revealed." Reverend Cameron continued on to say that this really is nothing new in world history. And she went all the way back to the end of the Roman Empire and shared the example of St. Benedict of Nursia. She told us this: "In the 6th century, as the Roman Empire disintegrated, St. Benedict of Nursia did not try to save the empire. He also did not abandon the world. Instead, he gathered people into a way of life rooted in stability, shared labor, prayer, and care for the vulnerable. The monasteries that followed did not prevent collapse, but they preserved humanity within it. They became places where learning survived, where the poor were fed, where dignity was practiced, when power had lost its moral compass. They did not do this by being loud or dominant. They did it by staying." Benedict called this way of being in the world simply stability. In the Rule of Benedict, the governing principles of Benedictine monasteries, it is written, "Stability is not about standing still. It is about remaining faithful when everything else is in motion." Last week, we talked about what holds the center in place. And I want us as a community to understand that we have an important role to play in the work of maintaining stability, of holding the center. We have this role, and we do everything we can to carry it out. Holly talked a few minutes ago about all we do to further the cause of justice and to contribute to making Cape Ann a safer and healthier place to live. We remain faithful to the work. We preserve and foster the goodness of our society as best we can. We help hold the center. Margaret Wheatley is an author and management consultant who works in leadership development worldwide. Her goal is to help leaders find ways to foster people's inherent generosity, creativity, and their need for community. Margaret's work has demonstrated to her that it is extremely important in this era to establish what she calls conscious communities, where people come together locally to maintain the positive values of caring for others and the environment. In other words, to preserve the best of humanity and the human spirit. And you know, she could be describing religious communities. Margaret's other name for conscious communities is Islands of Sanity. I was struck by the parallels of what Benedict accomplished back in the 6th century with his establishment of monasteries, and Margaret Wheatley's focus on carefully preserving local institutions to hold our values, to maintain even small pockets where we emphasize kindness and compassion and love, to remain faithful to our ideals and to embody them for others around us, to model a different kind of shared power, what we call power with instead of domination or power over, to keep the flame burning in the midst of a flood of hate speech, warmongering, corruption, and scapegoating people who don't look or speak like the majority. We talk a lot about resistance here and the many forms that resistance can take. Simply holding the center, providing an island of sanity, can be one of our most countercultural acts. Can you see yourselves as part of that effort? Margaret Wheatley wrote a book called Who Do We Choose to Be? And in it, she asked everyone to consider in what way they can lead. Now, many of us don't think of ourselves as leaders. But even if we are not at the head of an organization or in charge of a committee or organizing a protest down at the boulevard, we are each a leader of one thing, and that is ourselves. Each one of us is the leader of our own life. We have agency. We make choices every day about what we will do and who we will be in the world. Being here this morning, you are choosing to participate in the life and the spirit of this community. What else do you choose? How are you showing up in the world? What we know is that we don't have to fix everything ourselves. We cannot. Nor do we have to hide because we feel overwhelmed. There is a middle way. We can find a way to remain steadfast, to help hold the center, each working together with others. There are many ways to participate in this particular island of sanity, the Gloucester UU Church. Your presence here on Sundays and at church events is more valuable than you can realize. Your saying yes to being asked to volunteer when you can is vital to our health and our future. Your financial contributions are critical to both our ability to maintain our presence at the center of the larger community and to building our future. We are called both to spend our time and our talent and our treasure in maintaining our island, but also called to be squarely focused on building our house of tomorrow. I cannot imagine a time in the future when we won't be an important part of the larger community, offering our values and our vision of a different world, a different way of being in the world. This is a tall order for a small congregation. In our 11 years together, I have watched you remain steady through a great many difficult times. You embody the words from the Rule of Benedict that I mentioned earlier. Stability is not about standing still. It is about remaining faithful when everything else is in motion. Life has certainly been in motion in the past decade. And here you are, still holding, always holding. What a gift you are to each other and to the world. Together, we share this ministry, a ministry that has many parts, but none more important, really, than to be holding the center. You've been a gift to me in my ministry. I love the work that we do together, and I believe in its importance, and I believe in you. And for that reason, I will pledge slightly over $2,000 this coming year to help us continue to provide the stability that this world needs right now. I hope that many of you will be able to pledge even a small amount to this congregation, to building a house called Tomorrow together. I believe fiercely that it matters that we are here and that each one of you is part of that we. Everything you do matters. A church really is a remarkable thing, and you are the church. Our poet wrote, "From the centuries, we human beings bring with us the simple solutions and songs, the river bridges and star charts and song harmonies, all in service to a simple idea, that we can make a house called tomorrow. What we bring finally into the new day, every day, is ourselves, and that is all we need to start. That's everything we require to keep going. Look back only for as long as you must, and then go forward into the history you will make. Be good, then better. Write books, cure disease, make us proud, make yourself proud. And those who came after you, when you hear thunder, hear it as their applause." What we bring finally into the new day, every day, is ourselves. And that's all we need to start. That's everything we require to keep going. Blessings on each one of you and on all of your many gifts. Amen. I invite us now to say together the unison prayer that is printed in your order of service. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Our closing hymn this morning is number 131 in your gray hymnal, "Love Will Guide Us." We build on foundations we did not lay. We warm ourselves by fires we did not light. We sit in the shade of trees we did not plant. We drink from wells we did not dig. We profit from persons we did not know. This is how it should be. Together we are more than any one person can be. Together we can build across the generations. Together we can renew our hope and faith in the life that is yet to unfold. Together we can heed the call to a ministry of care and justice. We are ever bound in community. May it always be so. Amen. And now I invite those of you at home to hold up your candle or chalice, and together we will blow them out as we here say the words to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. May you go in peace and return in love. Amen.